Hello, good morning, everybody. We are so excited to be back with you for another edition of Women's History Spotlight. Yolanda and I are here, and we are doing our best to spotlight the women of Howard County, the women who serve and lead here in this local government. And we are so excited to introduce you to two amazing individuals and Yolanda, why don't you let the people know who we are interviewing today?
I sure will. Happy Tuesday to everyone. And as Claudia mentioned, we have two fantastic women that work for the county, and the county is fortunate to have them. And so joining us is Dr. Denise Boston and Chloe Duncan. And as they come in to the room, we're going to just have them very quickly just tell us, what department they're with and their position. So, Dr. Boston, we're going to start with you.
Good morning. Thank you. It's an honor to be here with both of you for Women's History Month. I am in the Office of Human Rights and Equity, and I serve as the Equity and Restorative Practices Manager.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And Chloe?
Good morning, and I'm happy to be here as well. Thank you so much for this invite. And I work in the Howard County Office of Human Resources, and I am a senior HR analyst here, and I've been doing local government human resources work for about 16 years now.
All right.
Amazing.
Sounds good. Thank you both. And thank you both for giving us the opportunity to actually spotlight you and celebrate you during Women's History Month. Um, there are so many women that power Howard County government, and just happy that we have the two of you within, the ranks here in Howard County. And so Claudia and I have, a number of questions that we've been asking other women that work for Howard County government. And we're just going to go through a few questions with you because we want everybody to have the opportunity to know you as well as we do. So, Claudia,
Absolutely.
you want to take
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. Let's start with Dr. Boston, since we just last heard from Chloe.
All right.
What does Women's History Month mean to you?
I love that question. It's a great question in March. Um, it gives us an opportunity, and I know Chloe's going to talk a lot about all types of women, um, but we have a chance to celebrate us, to celebrate being in the room, to
Yeah,
celebrate the achievements and the accomplishments historically, and looking at who we are today. And so when I think about it, I think about my bookshelf of all
yeah,
these women authors that I have, to remind me how powerful and brilliant we are. So, yeah.
absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Chloe, how about you?
And to me, Women's History Month is a opportunity for us all to celebrate all the contributions in history, culture, and society made by women. I actually was just saying before we logged in that I was talking to my daughter about it, and I can't remember the name of the woman she was doing her report on, but she actually has a report she was working on in first grade for Women's History Month.
Oh, wow.
So I told her this morning it was a chance for us to recognize the pioneers who paved the way. We fought for years for equality and we've made progress. Still have some progress in reference to probably systematic barriers and equality, but it's great. It's great that we have a month and we can be recognized and just celebrate all the accomplishments of various women.
Wow. Well, you can tell your daughter, Chloe, she can do a report on you
I
and
know, right?
all the great, yes, and all the great things that you're doing. And yes, we have lots of women that have paved the way, but part of the paving the way, you have to have women that are going to pick up the torch and keep it going. And
Yeah,
so, you can share that with your daughter that you're doing that.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
now, both of you kind of alluded to this, and I want to just ask it more specifically: is hearing the voice of women when decisions are being made, being at the table, having a voice. I've been in the rooms with both of you, and the input that you have is invaluable. And so, if you can just kind of share why you believe it's important to have women at the table and have their voices heard.
Sure. Dr. Boston, did you want to go first?
Yeah, I will let you go.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Thank you. I believe it's important to have women at the table and meeting and decision making because it ensures our views as women are being captured in topics and important matters are being when important matters are being discussed. We also have every right to be involved in those important decision making meetings and conversations, conferences. Women should be included, definitely with equality and gender equality. We should be included, and it shouldn't be kind of like a last minute thought. Oh, okay, let's have a woman join the meeting. Or we have a meeting with all men. Just find a woman. We should be in the forefront in the decision making and planning process. And I think also having our views and contributions being heard kind of helps ensure that fair decision making is being taken care of and being processed as well, in my opinion.
I had
Perfect.
a just a follow up that came to my mind while you were talking, Chloe. Um, could you maybe uh, say even a little bit more in terms of how important it is as well to have women as part of the hiring process? Because you work in human resources, and so
Yes.
I can only imagine how important it has been in terms of making Howard County government a a gender diverse workforce, and I can't help but feel like you are a critical part of that, being a woman and being a part of the decisions that you know when resumes and CVs and applications come in. So talk to us a little bit about what how important it is for women like yourself to be in those rooms.
Sure, it's definitely very important. So working in human resources when it comes to your, say, your general job seeker phone calls or emails, we receive most of those phone calls, and we're communicating with the external customers that we serve, and those external customers who are looking to be Howard County future employees. So it's very, I think, critical for them to see that we are a diverse workforce, that there are women in probably every single department, and that no particular career field is off limits or department is off limits. I know specifically myself, I have a lot of history working in public safety. So, working with young females looking to be police officers or correctional officers or firefighters, that's taking up a lot of my years in HR, and it's very, very interesting to talk to the younger generation. And I have we had a firefighter youth program. I had like firefighter summer youth interns at one of my previous places, but just working with the youth and women and say, you want to be a firefighter or a police officer or whatever they want to be,
Yeah.
they're able to hear from another female like, hey, you can do that. Don't let it stop you just because you think it may have been a field or a particular career path years ago, or in the past that was mostly handled by men. But you can do whatever job you want to do. And that's something that I install in my daughter as well, like whatever you want to be. Right now she's stuck on being an astronaut.
I
Oh,
love
So,
it. I love it.
keep out for her. Let her know though, there's no limit. So whatever you want to be, mom will support you and you can do whatever you want to be. So yes, I think it is important for females, especially in HR, because we're usually the first voice or face that people see when they're looking or inquiring about jobs overall. And then once they get in the door, if they have questions or your orientation program, they see us as well, and they see a diverse staff, a diverse office, and I think that makes people feel a little bit more comfortable.
Absolutely.
yes. So Denise, I
Mhm.
know I know you have something to come up and say as well to add on to what Chloe just shared with us.
Yeah, I think being at the table for women to be at the table is critical because we bring critical thinking skills. We bring in those questions
Hmm.
that sometimes people wouldn't ask.
Hmm.
We make sure that our community is going to be served because we're, for the most part, we are community oriented. We want to be
Hmm.
the voice of people who are not in the room. And
Yeah.
so making sure that we are cognizant and we bring a cognizance of other voices. I think women bring that to the table
Hmm.
when we're making critical decisions and decisions that's going to affect people's lives. So,
Yeah.
and we're excited about being at the table. So we're going to bring this energy. this
Yeah,
energy that says we're here and we want to do our very best to do what we can to make a difference.
That's right. Thank you.
absolutely.
So,
Well, guys, we are coming to the end now. We've only got one more question for you. And we really just want to know if you could share with us one or two women who you believe have made major contributions either to society or to you personally. And, I always say this because I really appreciated when Yolanda gave me and Angela that extra person, because, you always come and it's like, hey, just give me one. We all need that extra person. And so, who are your one or two people? Chloe, I'll start with you.
and
Okay.
well, and I was just gonna say, and Denise, I know you have your whole bookshelf.
Bookshelf.
So that's one or two. So, but Chloe, so you have a chance to start thinking about it. But
Oh,
Chloe,
okay.
go ahead.
Okay, so I would of course have to first say we have the first female vice president. I mean, how great is that?
That's
And
right.
that's going to be in
Good.
history books. So that Vice President Harris would be the first female that comes to my mind as far as in contributions in the world, I guess you can say. Second person, I have three, so let me narrow it down to one name. The second person I would say would be Cori Bush, if my memory is 100% correct.
Yes.
The first Black woman for, I believe it's Missouri in Congress.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great accomplishment. So those are my two that I would like to, I guess, acknowledge for contributions to the world and society. As
Mm,
far as myself, I would like to honor my mom, Joanne. She just passed away July of last year,
mm,
but she was a great, great influence in my life and just pushing me with my academics in college and pretty much letting me know that I can go any direction I wanted to go in and helping me just prepare my career, being a young adult entering government and the workforce. She did 30 years with Baltimore County government, 911. And if anybody knows anything about emergency or public safety, being an emergency operator for 30 plus years is just like big. It's a big accomplishment. It's such a high stress
Wow.
job. So that would be the person in my life that I would say has influenced me personally, and also a transition not only in from my career aspect, but also in my personal life. Me now being a mom to my daughter, and I'll give her a shout out because she's probably going to look at this video. Gabrielle, she is 6.
Yay, Gabrielle.
So I'm able to be a great mother to her based on everything that I learned from my mom. So those would be the women that I would want to probably acknowledge.
mm.
And you are
Love that.
carrying on Mama Joanne's legacy, and you are
Thank
doing it
you.
well. And I'm
Thank
sure she
you.
is extremely proud and looking down on you. So,
Mhm.
but Denise, you had time. So tell
Well,
us.
I know for me, I'm going to bring a woman into the circle here that no one probably knows. And
Mm.
she was the cafeteria woman, Miss Phillips, when I went to college.
All
And I,
right.
and
Wow.
I have to say that she was just amazing to students coming to college. I was in a college where I wasn't, it was a predominantly white institution, and she was a Black woman serving food in the line.
Mm.
And all the Black young students that would come through, she'd feed us. And,
Wow.
and she adopted me. She took me in and she says, "Come here, baby." She says,
Mm.
"I'm going to be your mother while you're in North Carolina."
Oh,
And
Wow.
and so she brought me to her home. I did my laundry in her house. She gave me her
Oh,
car. Um,
Wow.
and when I graduated, she cried and she said, "You guys come here and you leave me." And I
oh,
never left her. Every year after I graduated, I went back to see her until she passed.
Wow. Oh,
So
wow.
these are our unsung heroes
yes.
that I
Yes.
think we need to honor, because people see us and we don't even realize people are seeing us, and really paying attention to us as women, because she didn't go to college, and she
Mm.
wanted us to know that women are dynamic whatever job they do. So that's my story about Miss Phillips. And then I would say I have two aunts who are surviving sisters of my mom and dad. Both of my
Mm.
mom and dad are deceased. They have passed away. But I have two aunts who are both turning 90 this year. My Aunt Bessie
Oh, wow.
and my Aunt Shorty, and my Aunt Bessie and my Aunt Leanne. I'm sorry, my Aunt Shorty passed away a couple of years ago. But my Aunt Shorty, my Aunt Leanne and my Aunt Bessie are two fabulous women turning 90 this year.
Wow.
And they're standing up, holding up our family with
Yeah.
grace and love. And I want to be like them when I grow up. So thank you.
Wow.
Wow, thank you both. That is excellent, and I love Denise that you shared the Miss. What was the cafeteria worker? What
Miss Phillips.
Miss Phillips? I love that you shared that one because she didn't have to do that, and she
Yeah.
did, and she
Mm-hmm.
probably made college so much more tolerable and fun for you than
Hmm.
and anyone that's been away to college knows that means a lot to have
Yeah.
someone there
Yep.
to watch over you and take care of you and just check in on you occasionally. And so
And feed
that
you.
Yeah.
Right.
that is true. So
That's
thank you
awesome.
both again, like I said, for everything that you do for Howard County, both within county government, but just for the community. We appreciate your commitment to making sure that the county is an inclusive place, and that women's voices are being heard and everyone's voices are being heard. So we appreciate that you allowed us to spotlight you and celebrate you today. For those who are watching, if you, the Office of Human Rights and Equity is a resource for you. If you feel like you have been discriminated based upon gender, gender identity, feel free to contact our office. There are other protected classes in which, if you are facing discrimination in employment, housing, public accommodations, financing, or law enforcement, we are that resource and you can contact us. There will be a link with a phone number, as well as our email address in which you can contact the office so we can initiate an investigation on your behalf. But again, Denise and Chloe, thank you for
Thank
being
you.
today's Howard County Women's History Spotlight. Thank you.
Thanks so much, everybody. And make sure that you are all going to join us on Thursday at 12 o'clock. We will be having the Until I Am Free conversation. Myself, Dr. Boston, and Yolanda will all be back. And we'll also have a special guest in Miss Glendora Hughes, who is the general counsel for the Maryland Commission for Civil Rights. And we're going to have a conversation on the women in leadership who have been championing civil rights just for decades, starting with the civil rights movement, starting with Fannie Lou Hamer, and bringing it all the way up to SCOTUS nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson. So that's going to be a lunch and learn dialogue that you do not want to miss. So make sure that you join us on Thursday, right here on Facebook or YouTube at 12 p.m. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of
Claudia,
your day.
Thank
Claudia, wait
you.
a minute, because now you said all of that, and I just wanted to remind the confirmation hearing started yesterday for Judge Jackson,
It did. It
and
showing up
so
did.
it was. And I don't want to take away any of our conversation from Thursday, but it was fantastic just seeing her at the table
Hmm.
yesterday and delivering her opening remarks, having her mom. Well, I'm not going to go. You have to tune in on Thursday and we're going to continue that conversation. So that will just be, but just for those, the confirmation hearings have started, and feel free, to tune in and watch those.
Okay.
And like Claudia said, join us on Thursday.
Yep. See you guys then. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.